Headbangers.
Hi, welcome back to the Headbangers podcast where your host Nathan and Brad. He's back, he's ready. We're going to do the July bangers. So obviously we've kept this up since May. We've had a lot of fun doing it, speaking about the best tracks in hardcore, metal, thrash, black metal, you name it, we've got it. So there's been a few ones. Again, we don't stick to the rules on this. So, there's some things that came out in, or even I broke the rules of this. There's some songs that came out in very early August, and I
Yeah,
think that justifies it being on the July list. So
I
what
see
do
it
you
as,
think,
like
Nathan?
1999 was just a DLC. Well, no, the early 2000s was just a DLC on the 90s. Like who
Exactly.
gives a shit if it were released on the first, second, or third? Like that's still, well, it's not, but it's you're
Yeah.
still coming out of July at that point, and I'm gonna be real. Like there was a lot of bangers dropped early August that we're probably gonna realistically forget about by the time we do August bangers. So we might as well
Exactly.
put them in the July ones. I'm very
You're
gutted
you're
I
he-
wasn't on
you're
the
here
last
for your
episode, by
fix.
the way.
I know that was a fun one, to be fair. If you haven't checked it out, check out the episode with Thomas Cardone from X Sentinels. It was a very random chat, but very fun altogether. But
Well,
yeah, you're
my
here for
my
your
bus broke
fix.
down, so I sadly missed it in the middle of a
Okay.
field, and it was great. Right, bus drivers don't have coolant for the buses on them. You'd think they'd give them like a pack or something, like yeah. If something like that happens, there you go, top it up with that. No, there's a guy whose job it is to drive a fucking van and then like arrive there with the coolant or
Yeah,
anything
I
they
don't
need.
I don't want to talk about first bus. I'm just gonna get fucking
Yeah,
annoyed.
no, it was a
Um,
Harrogate bus actually.
Still the same. Not all the buses. Fuck them. But yeah, do you want to start us off with your first July banger?
Yeah, so I think my first one is ingested shadows of. I can't speak today.
Wow.
Ingested shadows in time.
It's not even a hard
Um,
thing to say.
I know it's not. I was just getting a bit tongue tied. Now, obviously, this is one of the ones we're kind of cheating on. It was released like last week at the point of recording this. But it is a fucking banger of a track.
Such a
Like,
consistent band.
mate, it was so fucking good. I was like, because I was like, I saw they dropped a new out, like the new, not a new album, but they announced a new album. They just dropped a new track, and I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Like I know what I'm always getting with Majested. I always keep up with their releases. We've got the lovely opportunity to interview Sean very early in the podcast as well. So I was like, yeah, I'll check him out. I'll check this track out. And fuck me, it's ignorant, mate. It's absolutely ignorant. It's so fucking heavy. It's so good. Remember when I said that in the chat, and you was like, "What the fuck
I'd
does
never heard
ignorant?"
that saying. That was new
Did,
to
did
me.
you not know? Well, quite a few of my mates from London say it. But yeah, no, it's fucking really good. Really heavy. Feels like the old like slammy ingested mixed with the new ingested in a weird way.
Yeah.
What did you think
Uh,
to it, Brad?
yeah, I mean, I know that ingested like throughout the years. I think ever since the Level Above Human album, they've always kind of stayed away from the slam. I think they want to like kind of get away from that tag as much as they can. But they're doing it right though. Like, their new death metal sound and deathcore sound is amazing. Like they've got it nailed down, but they've got that ingested. It's cool because, they're not early in their career, but bands will spend ages trying to find their signature sound. But like when you hear ingested, you know it's them. Like they've got like
Yeah,
the way that they lay out the drum patterns and the guitars are so signature to them, and they bring that back in this one. But they've also like to play around with some new shit. There's like some like melodic sections with the chorus. Like I really likes the way that's laid out, and it's quite memorable in a way. But then it goes back into those classic ingested breakdowns, which they are the fucking kings of. So
oh yeah,
absolutely love it.
definitely,
Never
definitely.
disappoint me, ingested.
Oh, hang on. I think I got a bit. No,
Man,
I'm
this
good.
is
I'm
every
good.
time now.
I'm good. I'm good. Okay, there we go.
Okay, back to it.
So, did you see the drummers like playthrough of the track?
I haven't now.
So we watched it on Saturday, and fucking mate, it's annoying how good he is because it looks like it's not even like anything.
Yeah, they blast
Like he's just there
so
like
hard.
stone faced. Yeah, it's just stone faced. It's not even like it's genuinely not even like it's like, oh, this isn't even close to challenging for me. So it props on the fucking drumming on the track because it is really that he uses some really, really unique fills. I found as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I really liked the track. It's heavy,
No,
everything I
me
wanted
too.
from
Yeah,
Ingested. So yeah, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, and just still one of my favorite bands, and they have been for a while since I heard them. Like, there's not many bands that can be that consistent and still put out bangers, but yeah, explore different stuff. Like, they're not afraid to try out different sounds. And you are right about the drummer. Like, when you stone cold playing it, that you've reached that level of drumming that's just unmatched. So yeah. So I want to talk about obviously a very renowned band and a very renowned frontman, which is Soulfly. And they've released a new album called Turton. Um, Obviously, everything that Max has touched since Sepultura to Soulfly to Cavalera Conspiracy has been monumental. Like, I honestly think that Max Cavalera should be in the same breath as Lemmy and Ozzy Osbourne and stuff, because for extreme metal, I don't think anybody's pushed things as hard as he has. And like, even after all this time, like what you said before we came on, like he adapts to every genre and he's a fan of like hardcore, death metal, black metal, thrash metal. And I think he's put his players in like every single thing. What I love about this album is that they've taken it back to some of the old Sepultura of like angst and anger, and even like there's a lot of thrashy elements, especially with this song "Rotting Pain." Um, like this song just absolutely slaps. There's some bullet like machine gun guitar in towards the end of it that just absolutely fucking amazing. It reminds me of like Schizophrenia Sepultura. But also like in other ways in the album. I know I'm speaking about the album and I picked a song, but it was too hard to decide a song. I switched my song choice like every 3 seconds because there was like one to like I said before, there was one song when there's like a beat down in there, and I'm just like fucking hell. Like, and then this song there, this is like so reminiscent of Sepultura, and it shows that even after all this time, he can still play with that intensity. He's just a fucking don, and that's all can be said.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I listened to it before we started, and like, fuck me, like it's got a bit of
Pops
everything in
off.
there. It's got I'd say it leans more towards like death metal, and I find
I
it
see
funny
that,
because
yeah.
obviously Soulfly started off as Max's new metal project, and like you can proper see it mature into what, and this might piss off a few Sepultura fans, what like Sepultura should really be now. In a
Mhm.
way, like it's got that just fucking relentless modern death metal sound now.
Yeah.
And again, might piss off a few Sepultura fans here. But I honestly think everything that Soulfly has been doing in the last couple of years has been miles ahead of what Sepultura has been doing, in my own opinion.
Yeah.
Not dissing Sepultura in any way. They're a really good band, but I feel like Max is just a king. Like he's just a fucking
He
don.
is the goat.
Like
Absolutely. I mean,
like it's just he's just got something in him that like I don't know what it is. It's just so fucking good. Like anything he touches turns to gold. He's like King Midas.
yeah, honestly, like I don't know where he pulls it from, but like I feel like Max is always releasing albums, and like for someone to release that much shit and be in that many bands, you'd expected that person to fall at least once, and he hasn't. He never has. Like everything that he's done has been good. He's just got risk for days, but again, like he never releases the same stuff twice. You might reminisce on some older stuff that he's done, but he's always constantly changing with the times, and I think that's really cool for someone who's been in the game that long. So props to him. Like Soulfly, constantly killing it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I don't know. This track was just it had a bit of everything you wanted, really. Um, it was melodic. It was heavy. I thought the intro were a bit more like old school death metal meets like black metal as well.
That's
Um,
it. I think this is the song, but it started out like Morbid Angel, like the way that they did the time signatures. Like it reminded me of something off Chapel of Ghouls, and I'm just like, fucking hell, like because I know he's a massive Morbid Angel fan, so it's no surprise that that sneaked in there. But that was definitely a Morbid Angel riff.
yeah, well, it had that like trem picking, switching octaves
Yeah,
sort of style. And I was like, oh, and then it
I
kicked in.
see
I
what
was
you're
like,
doing there.
ah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely
I
beautiful.
honestly think Soulfly are just fucking killing it at the moment. Like I really liked
Yeah.
their album from like what 2019.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Evil Empowered, or is it Ritual? One of them names. We always forget
Evil
it, but
Empowered, I
that
think. I
was
think it was Evil One. But yeah, I
yeah,
really liked that. And I at the
that was
same time,
my
at the
favorite
same
one by
year,
them.
yeah, at the same year they played Buzzstock, and those songs live was just like it's just so really good. And lived
Wow.
up to what it's like on the album as well. Like, so yeah, I think like Soulfly is just one of those bands that are like really knocking it out the park and being really consistent with like everything they really do. Like they did really well in the early days with their new metal sound, and I think they're really
Yeah,
going well with the more matured sort of sound that they're leaning more towards.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I have no complaints about this album. I've already listened to it like 5 times. But yeah, Rotten Pain's my signature song off it. So kick us off with what's next.
My next one is I Am Surrender the Blade.
This was a fucking banger, to be fair. I listened to it,
It
I was
was,
like,
wasn't it?
Jesus Christ. I before you say your thing, because I imagine you'll have more to say, but I just want to put my piece in first because I always describe like I Am's riffs like they're very crunchy. Do you know what I mean? It's got that
Yeah,
crunch. Yeah. But
yeah,
I
they
absolutely loved
are.
it. It just fucking like I feel like I regret not listening to it for the first time on my like sound bar because I imagine it just fucking tear off the roof.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking though as well, like when you said crunchy, the riffs are like stepping on a leaf in autumn. I mean, just
Yeah, yeah.
well, like no, like what I really liked about the track was like I remember seeing them, literally just before COVID kicked off in like January with I Artist Murder.
Yeah, that was a
And
good
that was
show.
like the first sort of exposure I had to them. And I know they released like an EP that year or maybe the year before. And like it's been weird because it's like they've not really done much since. And I imagine obviously COVID's not helped that. But there's not been much in terms of like new tracks. Like there was one a couple months ago, but like, oh fucking hell. But during COVID and stuff like that, we didn't really see many mutters from them. And then they've come out with this just ripper of a fucking track where it's like it really knocks you on your off your feet.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, man.
and I know that they're working on I think a new EP or a new album. And I'm so excited to hear that because they're always to me I am being like that perfect like blend of deathcore, death metal, hardcore.
Yeah, they
Do you know what
really
I
do
mean?
balance that well.
Like I think that they've got influences of all of them. Like if you listen to the older I Am stuff, it's very deathcore, but they've kind of you can already see them very maturing. But you can already see him like sort of like figuring out what's them, and it's like this weird blend of it's like groovy death metal hardcore.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
proper rate the release.
Yeah, I think I am a like they really are blending those genres very well. I wouldn't say like they're having an identity crisis or anything like because the I am sound is again what I've said about some of the other ones, like it's very signature. It's them. They've got the crunchy sound. But yeah, I think it's cool. Like it's a very good time for like these genres because people are just like utilizing them. There's a time where you wouldn't do that, but now with everything available to you, like less sort of barriers between genres, like they are managing to do it well. And even when we saw them live, like they did kill it. And it needs to be played loud because those riffs, man. Even the vocals, like they're so raw and visceral. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely love it.
definitely.
I'm excited to see what the next bit of the releases are going to be because it seems like they're just getting heavier every time.
Just had to really quickly adjust my mic
So
because my levels
all
will be
experiencing
all
sound
over the
issues
place.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I do. I really rate this new release. Um, from them to be honest, it's just like I remember I put it in the band chat like the day it dropped, and I was like, guys, have you listened to this? And like, Jordan was straight up back going, yeah, mate, it's fucking min. But yeah, like
Yeah, super dope.
it's really good. I'd recommend listening to it. I'd recommend checking out I Am. I'm still clinging on to that hoodie that I bought when they were on tour with IR for my dear life. and I really hope they come to the UK soon because they were meant to come with Couple Icon like a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
But
So that
obviously
show
that
got
that
cancelled.
we got cancelled and then permanently cancelled. It's like but yeah, I was really looking forward to it, seeing them again. But I really hope they come back to the UK. Hopefully on like a little album tour. But yeah, here's fingers hoping that fingers hope. What is wrong with me today?
I
Fingers
know. Your
crossed that we get
brain's
to
scrambled
see
now.
them. I have been burnt
Yeah,
out from work, to be fair.
that's fair. But yeah, good choice. I'm gonna go on to Belphegor with their song Dance Macabre. There is like another word before that, but I'm not gonna try and pronounce it because every time I try and do it, I kill it. But they've got the other announcement on there. So yeah. Yeah, I've always loved Belphegor. They're actually one of the first death metal bands I fell in love with, which is quite a strange one, I think, because usually you go to some of the other ones first. But yeah, they're just really like, I think they were the best introduction to black metal and death metal infused together. Like them and Behemoth, I always like think of them when people say, "Oh, what's like black and death metal like?" Then it's these guys and Behemoth, obviously. But yeah, they've always been again. I hate to use the word consistent again, but we like our keywords in this. But they have
Keywords.
been
Each
consistent.
episode has to have a keyword.
I know we can start. Maybe we can start a drinking game so it's more fun for listeners.
No, they need to guess that. You know what? Here's a game. They need to guess the keyword and then comment it
Yeah,
what they think the keyword is below.
that's a good game.
And they win. Well, nothing, but
You win our thanks and
you win a
appreciation.
kudos.
Exactly. But yeah, this is a really good album. The probably Dance Macabre is my favorite song off it, just because it's so intense. Like again, we'll talk about drumming. Like there's just non-stop throughout this, but there's still like because sometimes if you blast all the way through a song, there's a good chance it can become repetitive. But I don't feel like that happens with this song. There's moments where it'll either get heavier, the riff will change, or it'll get quite melodic and quite harmonic, which is nice. Something that not every black and death metal band can do successfully. But these guys are like kings of the game, like they know exactly what they're doing, and it's why they've got such a cult following. But yeah, it's just an incredible song. The vocals are disgusting, but in a good way. And just the whole album, like there's even some like tinges of using some acoustics on the album. There's like some weird Spanish guitar in like halfway through the album. But yeah, this just shows like how well they balance black metal and death metal. Two probably my two favorite extreme metal genres. They can be quite different, but yet I feel like this song, perfect example of how to do it well. And yeah, the drummer needs a fucking Grammy for the support for this performance because it's incredible.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've never been much of like a fan of Belphegor just because to me, I don't know. I got really into black metal and stuff and
Yeah.
death and like black and death metal and stuff like that. But then it kind of just like fell off for me. I like the mix of the two.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I can't now. I kind of like either one or the other. But I did really like this track. It reminded me of like a more sort of raw performance. If you get me, like there was a lot that it sounded well produced, but I felt like it kind of captured the anger of like the early like black metal scene. And I feel like that came through. And the vocal performance on it was definitely a very, very, very good. And I did really like the track. So I think I will check out the rest of the album.
Yeah, you really should,
because I do think it was good. And I don't know how that drummer doesn't have four arms the size of tree trunks. From what he was playing, but yeah, it was really good.
No, for sure. I definitely would recommend checking it out. It's good what you say. I think they do really capture that raw black metal sound quite well because even though it sounds completely different to, Mayhem, for example, or Immortal, it's still got that angst. I think from the 90s. Even though because I think it's quite hard sometimes for a band to be so well produced and then still keep the intensity, but they'd managed to do it well. Like I said, they're masters of the craft.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see them at Bloodstock. So let's go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, are they playing Bloodstock?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't.
Yeah, it's a Dark Funeral. Then it's these, so that's gonna be a nice little black metal hour for me.
I feel like Dimmu Borgir is not going to play Bloodstock this year.
You know what? Every time that I have to get excited about them playing, I'm just like in my head, I'm just pretending that they're not playing because then if they turn up, great. I've seen Dimmu Borgir. But if I get so excited that they're gonna play, then I know there'll be some fucking reason why they pull out. So
Mate, they have meant to be played. They have meant to be played, but they have meant to have played like each Bloodstock since I remember looking in the fucking posters. He's like, oh, they'll be here next year. It's like, are you sure?
I think
then
like it would be ridiculous if they cancel now. Like the other times, you know, especially the first time, like I understand, obviously, COVID, all that shit. But like if they cancel now, I'm like, there is no excuse why you cannot play. You at least should have done every bit of preparation you possibly can to play this festival.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
You know, by the way, I know we're going on a tangent, but do you really think that the surprise band will be Machine Head?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, Dylan proper got my hopes up with it being Cannibal Corpse. And like, I feel like now, if I walk in that tent and it's anyone else, I'm like, I'm out.
I mean, I hope I would like it to be Cannibal Corpse, to be fair, but I also wouldn't mind it being Machine Head. Like, if they're playing the Burn My Eyes album, like, you know, all the old fucking shit, that'd be so sick in a tent. And like, that's a massive band to get in a small tent, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it is going to be them on the basis that, you know, the live stream, like, oh, see you at Bloodstock. The only thing that I think it could be that's not the surprise band is that Rob Flynn used to be in Violence and Violence are playing, so he could potentially pick up
Oh
the
yeah, it
reins
could have
and
been a
do,
joke about that. Yeah, it could have been a joke about that. You know
or
what?
it could be turning up. You never know.
You know when we do the when we do the Bloodstock vlog,
Yeah,
we just cut back to this.
yeah.
We'd be
We'll
like,
see how right we
have
were.
like a clip. It's like, I feel like Dimmu Borgir's not going to play, and then like I was there watching him, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they
We'll,
did
we'll
play.
also do like a Bloodstock special, I imagine, so we can talk about that and see if our predictions are right.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll get on to the our next one.
Yeah.
Now
Go on,
this is,
tangent, Terry.
you know what I thought I did. Oh wait, no, I read too far ahead. Never mind. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Now I've got a day to remember miracle. Now,
Killer.
what a track! What a track! What an abs! It's a banger. It's a banger. It's an absolute banger. Because like, I gotta admit, you liked the last A Day to Remember the album quite a
I
bit.
did, yeah.
I didn't. It's just it felt.
The way you said that was so funny, like an angry toddler. I didn't like that very much at all.
No, you know what? You know what? Right? They tried some, and yeah, the new track is really good. I really enjoyed it. I do kind of wish.
It's so funny. Like I imagine that being as like a review, you know, if like you ever saw like a Metal Hammer review and it's just like they tried something. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, no, nothing else. They tried. They tried. But yeah, so the new track. Yeah, no, the new. I feel like you know what, the negative Nathan's coming back now. I need to be more positive.
I think you've capped it. You've capped it quite well. You know what
Yeah,
I
I've
mean?
capped
It's like
it. You
it's
know,
a little. It's like you're almost about to go there, but then you're like, no, Nathan, we must remain.
yeah, because there's a little voice inside my head being like, "Don't be that cunt again." But yeah,
Think
no.
about Rob.
Can you hear my chair squeaking? By the way. Okay, no worries. Yeah. So anyway, we're getting off topic. What did you think to the new track, Brad? Because I thought it was fucking good. It was
I
a
liked
classic
it.
metalcore song.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I liked, like I said, I did like the last album. I thought it's like a nice sort of chilled summer vibe sort of thing. But this is like, you know, more in line with some of their older stuff, you know, something that you might see in Homesick. I think it's still looking toward the future in a way. Like, I guess it has more of that radio friendly sound. Not that they haven't had that before, but like, you know, as soon as that fucking breakdown kicked in, I was just like, this is a day to remember. This is their formula.
Oh,
But
yeah,
besides
definitely.
that, very nice, catchy chorus. Like I love the way that his vocals. Again, I'm not a fucking vocalist, so I don't know what these terms are called. But it's like they get to a certain level when they're singing the chorus, and then they go up like another octave, and like he does that in like some of the bridges, and I quite liked that. That was cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought, you know what though? Nothing's ever gonna beat the break. Actually, we mentioned him on the last Bangers episode. Wait, no, we mentioned him on the last one. We just chatted shit about
There's a
music,
nostalgia one.
but
Yeah,
nothing is gonna fucking beat Mr. Highways thinking about the end. That fucking breakdown. That
it's
breakdown.
monumental.
There must be. It's like what I said on the group chat about the Kate Bush song. There must be crack built into that, like audible crack. Like where it's like you listen to it, you're like, I want more. Want
Yeah,
more straight away. That's moreish. Like that breakdown's always gonna be the best one. But the breakdown in this, fuck it, they doubled the fucker up for one. You know, you thought, oh, is it over? And they just pulled the rug underneath you. Like, nah, mate, doubled up. The screaming's also welcome. You know, is a good welcome back. Um, you know, and the singing's really good too. I think everything in it is perfect. I didn't think when I saw A Day to Remember has released a new track after the last album, I was not expecting this. I was like, well, I've heard a couple of people say it was good. Listen to it, was way more like surprised positively anyway. And was like, yeah. And I've been listening to it ever since. It's pretty much been a daily thing. It's very catchy, very well made, and I really like it.
absolutely. I can agree more, to be honest. Yeah, I think nobody does pop punk with breakdowns better than A Day to Remember. Like, it's a very, I think it's a thing that they may have created, or at least they're the godfathers or the kings of it. Because like I don't know anybody that does it better than them. They're just the perfect balance between. So if you want like headbanging music that you can sing along to as well, and like it's just have that summery vibe to A Day to Remember, like sort of like skate park music, but also heavy and amazing. So yeah, Day to Remember, Kings, love it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know what? Right, look at us. We've really evolved. Like a
We
lot
have.
of viewers and listeners won't know this, but back in the day, we would have shat on this
Absolutely. But we've
harshly.
opened our minds to it and we love it.
Hey, I'm not afraid to admit it. Call us opposers. I don't care. It's a banging
Yeah.
track. You're just missing out.
Send it to my pigeonhole.
Yeah, send it to our pigeonhole.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we don't have one. So yeah, next one. On the line with metalcore as well. My next song is The Devil Wears Prada, Time. Now this is a band that it was like a recent love for me. I never really checked them out back in the day. I know they were one of those bands that were very like highly praised by metalcore fans and considered one of the original greats. But I'm a bigger fan of their newer stuff. I think they're doing things really right with, keeping things in like a listenable sound for like your new metal fans, not like NU as in new, as in it's just coming out. So that sort of thing. Because again, like with Spirit Box, I think it's important that you have bands like the Devil Wears Prada, that they can make these sing-along tracks and these like more digestible songs, but they still sort of introduce like, oh, this is what heavy could sound like. You might like it. It's sort of like an advert or like, a trial period. So then when you get into metal and hard extreme stuff, you might become a fan. But yeah, I love this song. They feature some great electronic moments. I think you should never neglect using electronics because you can make them good. The vocals all the way through have this nice emotional tone. There's something that I'm a massive fan with like metalcore bands is when they sort of break their voice a tiny bit and it sounds a bit more strained. It doesn't sound perfect. And I think the imperfection makes it sort of perfect. And it kind of gives you more of a nice authentic feel to it. But yeah, the way that he balances the harsh vocals and the clean vocals are really great in this. And again, it's one thing that you can always have catched in your mind. And every song that they've released off what I assume is a new album coming, have been bangers. So fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Brad. Until you put this on the list, I'd never listened to Devil's Wears
Have you
Prada.
not?
No, never, never. You know what? It's just never come across. I've never come across them. I'm
Fair.
90%. You know, I've heard of them, but I don't think there's ever been someone that went, yeah, but listen to it. Like, no one's ever done it. So for me, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised because I've always kind of assumed with Devil's Wear Prada, it's just not my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, even though I probably heard him at Keys and just not realized. But like, I don't know. I just thought, I always just assume, I don't think I'll like it. And it's very negative to think like that. But I was just like, I've got a lot of time. I've got a lot of time. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of
Nice
other
reference.
bands. But no, it's you know it is. It's just that I've got a lot of bands that I'm a massive fan of. That I like listening to. And I like, you know, I feel like if I haven't got into them like early on, like when I was
Yeah.
getting into metal, like especially like a band that's been around that long, I'm not gonna, because it's like my tastes have changed now. So it's, you know, like
Was that convince you to give them a chance then?
I'll probably give them another listen. Yeah, I did like the track, but I feel like I'd need to be reminded, just because I did like it, but I don't normally gravitate to that stuff normally. If you
Okay.
get me.
Mhm.
So like, if the thing is now, if someone pops them on, I won't be that bothered. You know, before I'd be oblivious, but now if they played this song, I'd be like, that's Devil Wears Prada in it. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
no,
I would
I liked
recommend
it.
checking out some of the other signals because yeah, the other singles that have been released are very good as well. I think they're honestly killing the metalcore game at the moment. I'd put them up there with some of the greats, and then deserve their
I
spot.
would say one criticism. Am I
Go on.
allowed that?
Yeah, you're allowed one criticism.
Okay. Was a bit architectsy.
I don't think you can say that because technically
I
Devil Wears
feel no,
Prada have been around.
it
They
was.
they they
It
they've been
was.
around longer than Architects. As much as I love Architects,
Have they?
like they probably inspired Architects, to be honest. Yeah, they're one of the early ones.
It was a bit architectsy though, wasn't it?
I think that's the thing though. Like I think there is a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fucking bands that copy Architects. You know, cough cough wage war. No
Yeah.
beef.
Wage
No
war.
shade front.
Right. No shade thrown. But you fucking know what you've done. Right. There's a that do you there's one Wage War song that is the exact same riff
I know.
as
I know.
Doomsday. Like it's mate. No fraud shade. We'd love no fraud shade. No shade thrown, right? We'd love to get you on the podcast one day, Wage War. But you fucking know what you did there. Like you
Yeah.
can't even deny that shit. Put them side by side. Same fucking riff.
Yeah, blood in your hands. But I mean, the point that I was trying to get at was just that I think because of that whole stigma with Architects and bands copying them, that I think people look for songs and try and look for the smallest details to say it sounds like Architects. But in fact, Devil's Wear Prada has been technically around longer than Architects, so they can sort of do what they want.
I had like an image in my head of then.
What?
You like in a turtleneck with like a wine going, well, actually, you could say
Actually.
that Devil Wears
might
Prada's
say
work
that.
because architect's work is actually derivative from a Devil Wears Prada. You
Yeah,
see, they
little
came
shine in the
first,
glasses.
Yeah, like some like history books behind you.
Yeah,
Being like,
so-
yeah, I'm getting Oki extra.
I'm getting a sense of doomsday. But
My
yeah, been on a tangent again, so throw us into the next one. What's next on the list?
next one is again. So this is one of the ones that from the list where it wasn't really even released this year, and I have talked about it before, and I have talked about this band before, but I'm gonna fucking talk about it again because this song has been in my going through my fucking Spotify every day, like all of July up until now, and that's God's Hate by God's Hate.
I actually
From
fucking
the
love this
EP,
track.
from the album God's Hate. But like it's fucking so good. Like that entire album that they did, let alone just this track, is so fucking good. But this album, this song is it's addictive to listen to. Like it's heavy. The chorus is like, God's Hate. Mate, the riffs a lot, mate. There's just so much. If anyone's not listened to God's Hate, like just fuck off right now and listen to God, because I honestly, they're one of they're a band that I'm so enthusiastic about now. Like since they released that album last year, I've not stopped listening to it. It's been constantly on my recently played. It is so fucking good. Like there's not one bad song in it, and this is the best one from it, in my opinion. And it just feels like you're just getting pounded with this fucking like heavy, like raw fucking sound. It's just so good.
Yeah, man. Like this was one of the ones I think of your list. Obviously, I'll listen to some of the other ones anyway, because they were probably going to be on my list anyway if I had like more songs. But like fucking hell, like I listened to this, I was like, Jesus Christ, what a heavy ass riff that kicks off with. I'm like, probably one of the best riffs I've heard this year, and I was just like out of nowhere. So yeah, that's one I will be returning to. And there's like that sort of metally hardcore sound, like that really crunchy. It reminds me of like sort of like Jesus Piece, that sort of like heaviness of guitar playing. It's just like it just proper rocks you off your socks, isn't it?
Yeah, mate.
Brilliant.
It's just that entire album. That entire album you need to listen to because it's so fucking good. I I'm so gutted that I didn't go to Outbreak because I had the opportunity to get tickets, and like there were only one going, and I was like, I can't be asked going on my own. I should have just gone on my own because
Yeah, you
like
should
that
have done.
fuck it. They were playing, and I've kicked myself ever since because I would have lost my fucking shit because it was a barrierless what is wrong with me? It was a barrierless gig as well. So stage dive fucking galore. I'd have been running up there constantly. As soon as this song came out, I'd have fucking flown across the venue.
Yeah, this was dope.
It's such a banger.
Really dope track.
I've been trying to get all you guys to listen to God's Hate for a fucking year now. And I keep sending it in. No one's listening. Like Callum found it on his own, and he was there like, "Mate, this is sick." I'm like, mate, I have been sending these tracks for a fucking year. Like,
yeah, I need to check more of these out because yeah, I was very impressed by that track. I was just like having a little rage on my bed. I was like, fucking hell.
fucking hell.
Yeah, I'm gonna blew my socks off. So yeah, no, really liked it.
Did you
I
find them
would.
though?
Sorry,
Did you find them?
did I find them? My
Yeah.
socks.
Yeah,
Nah,
the socks after the blew
probably
them
somewhere on the M1.
off.
Yeah, no, really loved it. I can't wait to listen to the album. I might check it out tomorrow actually. Because yeah, like I said, that riff honestly blew me away.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've been like they've been really influencing me with like writing all the new like Justifier stuff. And like I've been just sat there. I've been like, God's hate, dude. No, but I've been kind of sat there and I've been listening to them a lot, and like I just really like the sound that they went for.
Yeah,
It's like that metally hardcore, and it's like I've been proper leaning into that with writing. Been like, oh yeah, guys, we should try this. It's like
looking forward to hearing the stuff. But yeah, so I think this is my last one, which is a bit more of an underground one, but yeah, it's a band's called Maul, and it's Sephiroth Punishment. But yeah, really fucking cool track. So I saw this one again circling around on Twitter. Obviously some of the best recommendations usually come from there with a little community. But yeah, these are fucking sick. Like that very reminds me of like early death metal, which I know that sometimes can be repetitive, but like these guys just do it well. Like the vocals, they're not low in the mix. Like these punch you in the face with how intense they are. And
that's
this,
always a pet
again,
peeve for me with when they go for that sort of sound as well.
yeah, I don't like the lo-fi sort of thing. I think the vocals need to be just as intense as the guitars, and like everything in the production is fantastic with this. It's being mixed really well. The vocals, again, not to compare to Morbid Angel again, but like they remind me of Vincent's vocals. They've got that sort of slimy sound to it, which is the best way I can describe it. And there's a lot of nice change ups in the song, like some transitions, like there's some that there'll be like a mid pace, then there'll be like some blasting, which I think is nice. It helps to separate the song, but it's got that it's got the rawness of that early sound, but it brings it together with the production and the new wave. So excited to see what these guys do, because I think they're killing the game, and I think they deserve some more recognition for how well they play. So,
Yeah, I mean, like, you sent me your list, and I was like, oh, we'll go through them then. And we, because that's what we do. We share the songs like to each other, give it a listen before. We don't just wing it, but surprise them.
It's not my last song, by the way. I forgot I've got another one after this, but yeah, this is
Wait, have you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I've got it written down.
You do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'll come back to that one, but yeah, this is more. What do you think to
it? Yeah, you do. I was like looking like, Brad, fucking not here. But yeah, no, I really like the track. I'm a fan of old school death metal as well. And I always appreciate that sound. It just tickles that itch when you're in the mood for it. Listen to these guys, and they do a really, really good job of it. Like you said with the vocals, they're not. I fucking hate it when like they go for that old sound and then they make the vocal sound like trash.
Yeah.
And it's like
there's certain things you should reminisce on. Like, yeah, fair enough. Keep the rawness and keep the intensity. I don't even mind if it sounds a tiny bit lo-fi, but please, if you've got the production tools of nowadays to make the vocals sound a bit more high in the mix, like as they should be, then do it.
I hate it when you like read the lyrics and it's like these proper in-depth lyrics and like like and all it hears is in the background.
Yeah.
It's like you're there like, are you getting in this? I don't think, well, for one, most metal songs is like, I don't think he's saying that. But it's like when they go for that sound, you're there like, did they turn like everything down?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, I'd expect it was something like slam, because I know what I'm getting there. If I go to a restaurant and I get a menu and I'm at a Chinese restaurant and they turn up with like a burger, I'm like, this is not what I ordered, mate. I ordered some gyros. This is what's going on.
Yeah. That was a very, that euphemism was event like, oh, very good.
It makes sense. It's basically like, you know what you're getting with slam, but with death metal, I think there's no excuse to not make the vocals like a good way in the mix.
I know, but that euphemism sounded personal, Brad.
That it didn't happen.
What happened at House of Food last week?
No, they can never let me down.
No, but I really liked. I'm in a really giddy mood. Can you tell? No, but I really liked this track.
Good.
And I do really like the production. I think like you can go for that old sound without making it sound like utter shite.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of bands do it, and it does sound okay. It's like, oh, but a lot of bands do it as well, and most of that might be down to producer, or they might have mixed it themselves. But sometimes they go for it, and it's like, oh yeah, this does sound like it was recorded in 1990 on a cassette player in the middle of the room. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's not negative. Sometimes it's like it adds to the track.
Pick it up.
But sometimes it's just it doesn't quite stick the landing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're gonna do something like that, you need to get a producer that's like good at that, but also still trying to make it sound modern.
Yeah, you're right. So what's your next one?
Counterparts. Whispers of Your Death. I really liked it. I've never really followed Counterparts that much, but Jordan from the band, White, if you listen to the new he's a massive fan, and he was like, "Have you listened to the new Counterparts song?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "No, can't say if I ever really listened to Counterparts." He was like, "Let's pop them on then," and he put it on, and yeah, really good, really entertaining. Not what I was actually expecting from Counterparts. I always just assumed they were kind of like the pop punk with breakdowns. might be very naive. I mean, I listened to them, but just never really listened to them. Was really surprised by this track. Thought it hit really hard. Thought it was very enjoyable. What did you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was like sort of like a metalcore sound, I guess. Like I know nothing about counterparts, so that this was like a fresh taste for me as well. But it's got very harmonic, I'd say, in sections. I liked the vocals as well. Yeah, this has got sort of like metalcore sound. I'll probably have to check out like more of the discography to kind of see like what they're going for, because this is just one track, and bands do tend to change how they do things here and there. But I mean, I've heard of the name counterpart, so I assume that they've been in the game for a bit of a while.
I misheard you then, and I thought you said they must be in a game for quite a while. Just sat there like, in a game. What game?
In the game, not a game.
In the game. No,
Yeah.
I clicked on. I thought it'd be funny to share it with the group. But yeah, no, I thought it was.
I liked what I heard.
I thought it was good. I liked what I heard. I haven't got really much to say on it other than I liked it, because like, unlike the other bands and stuff like that, I've got nothing to really reference it to, because I have only listened to that one song, and I do really like that one song, which is why I put it in July Bangers. I feel like I'm gonna have to really, really deep dive into the rest of them. But yeah, that was my first introduction to Counterparts, and I do really like it.
Yeah, if you want it to be your introduction too, then feel free to click the link in the description and make your decision for yourself. But yeah, it was a good track. There's not really much that I can say on it unless I listen to the rest of the band. But yeah, we'll talk about something obviously that me and Nathan are a big fan of, which is Behemoth. Obviously, I imagine if you're into death metal or black metal, you're gonna know who these guys are because they're sort of quite popular.
So
yeah,
this
this
really
song's
underground. You might have heard of them.
You might have heard of this little band called Behemoth. But yeah, they've released a new song, which is The Deathless Sun. I haven't been like a massive fan of the other two tracks they've released. They just I don't know, they didn't stick out to me. But I just sort of like, oh, it's over now. And this is no insult to Behemoth. Like, I still think they're some of the best songwriters in the metal community right now. But I don't know, they just didn't hit for me. Especially because they just let off the Satanist and I Love You at Your Darkest, which were two fucking monumental masterpieces of our time. But yeah, this one felt more in line with how I was hoping things would go. I really like the operatic sort of vocals in some of the sections. It's got a very catchy chorus. But yeah, it sort of reminds me of like a perfect blend between the Satanist and I Love You at Your Darkest. They've gone through a few sound changes. They started off like being traditional black metal in the 90s, then they moved on to like quite a brutal death metal sound. And then now they've got this new sound, which is sort of like more digestible, but sort of not avant-garde. But yeah, they've got like the signature Behemoth sound. Yeah, they like to go for that sort of sound, which I like. It's my favorite era of Behemoth, despite loving some of their older stuff. But like the frantic guitar sections in some of the bridges are very nice. And it smoothly breaks into that sort of catchy chorus. Again, there's not much to say about Behemoth. They are kings of the game. I really hope that the album is more in tune with this song than it is the previous two songs that they released. Because I might have to give them another listen. Maybe I'll be more of a fan if I give them a chance. But at least upon first listen, they didn't really grab me. But this one I thought was a good track. So what did you think, Nathan? Because you're a big fan of the last album, weren't you?
Yeah. By the way, I need to stop myself from giggling because my internet's been shit. And there's times where you go out a sync and then you come back and everything that you say is like sped up.
Okay.
And it reminds me.
I do speak quite fast, to be fair, so I might.
No, but mate, it is, mate. No, it's really sped up. Like it is. So
okay.
It reminds me of like, have you ever seen that TikTok? You know that guy that was like, "I tell you what, folks, that's bloody nice." Yeah. Have you seen it sped up? Where he's like, "I'll tell you what, folks, that's bloody nice. That's bloody lovely."
Does like Looney Tunes or something.
It's like that. But I'm gonna. You know what? I don't want to be negative.
Go on. Say what's on your mind.
I didn't like it.
Okay. Why do you not like it?
It's one. The other two of the tracks I didn't want for me. I don't know. I just thought they felt really flat.
Yeah.
And this one kind of feels like what I've heard before.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I don't think that this song is anything
I
that they
won't say
haven't
it's a
tried
bad
before.
song. I won't say it's a bad song, but I have listened to their previous album. I think it's God Equals Dog. That's
It's I
one.
Loved
No,
You at Your
that's a
Darkest.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's I Loved You at Your Darkest. I'm shit at fucking remember album names, but I listened to that a lot, and that was one of my favorite like albums released by him, and it still is, along with The Satanist. And I have listened to that album a lot, and like this new track is just kind of like a rehash of that album. Like it's just like it's kind of what I've heard before, and I get that's the sound that they're going for now. I just would have liked, like because what I liked about the last album is the fact that they had like that a mixture of these two. You saw like this avant-garde ish sort of sound coming in, and like, but it was still like heavy, like the Satanist, but it was definitely somewhat different. Like you could see something really different coming from this. And I thought next album, and it might just be me overhyping it, but I thought next album is going to be fucking mega because you know for a fact I'm going to work on this for ages. And then they're going to pop it off, and all these elements are going to be times by a fucking thousand, and it's going to be sick. But instead of what I've got, it's kind of what the same from before.
Mm.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's probably on that might be on me, just because it's like I have overhyped it in my head. But it's just one of those things where I listen to it and going, I can see what they're going for, but you can't, I've heard
Yeah.
it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do have to agree with you, to be fair. Even though it is on my list because as a behemoth song compared to what else I was listening to around the time, I still think it was a great track. But if I compare this to "I Love You at Your Darkest" and "The Satanist," it doesn't really hold up as much, in my opinion. Just because I think obviously "The Satanist" came out and like that was such a fucking hit. Like that was considered one of the best metal albums ever created. Like it was very highly acclaimed and as it should be. There's a lot of things going on at the moment at that time with Nurgle. And I think he put a lot of that aggression into the album. I think they all pushed themselves a lot to create that masterpiece. And I think "I Loved You at Your Darkest," and that was the album that was like the most pressure to beat the Satanist, or at least be on the same level. And they did do it successfully. I still like the Satanist more, but "I Loved You at Your Darkest" was not far behind it. Now, this song, yeah, I feel like the songs that they've been releasing do feel like B-rolls off those albums. It doesn't really push the bar any further. And I don't know, again, if that's what you said, because, they've already made two monumental albums. To try and do that again is extremely difficult. But nevertheless, I did like this song, and I hope that the rest of the album is going to push the boundaries a tiny bit more, and we'll see some new elements thrown in to freshen it up.
yeah, I'm not. I don't want to shit on it because it is still really well made, and like
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
absolutely.
plenty of people out there that like it. It's just something. It wasn't for me. Like it's not
Yeah,
really. It won't really make up. It's just like I think it's. I think the clear thing is I probably hyped it up too much in my head
yeah,
that
me
this
too.
album's gonna be good. And I'm not. To be honest, I'm not a massive fan of like what they've said that the subject matter is. Like it's about cancel culture and stuff. I'm not a massive fan of that sort of subject matter, so that could also be hindering my experience with it,
Mm-hmm.
as well. Um, well, yeah, it wasn't for me, but I don't want to shit on it and
Yeah.
be just a negative Nancy and be like, oh no, no, I don't like it because of this. It's probably all on me. Like there's probably plenty of people that like this track, and yeah, you're right in liking it. There's not wrong with liking it because they are a fucking solid band, who have cranked out some really good stuff. I just think I've either overhyped it in my head, or it's just not. Maybe it's just not tickling the same itch that I had before.
Yeah, for sure. I think I guess we'll both see when the album comes out, give it a proper bash and then we'll make a final judgment there. But yeah, it's sort of like 50-50. I don't know where they're gonna head with this one, but we'll wait and see. I hope that it is gonna be on the same level as the last two albums because they were masterpieces. But kick us off with the final one, Nathan.
That was the final one.
Was that the fight? Oh, yeah, of course you started. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. That has been our list. I hope you
I
sit
panicked
down
then.
and
I was there like,
I know. No, that was my fault. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the list. Please check out all the songs on the list. Like I said, there's a good range in there. I think you'll enjoy if you're looking for some crunchy riffs and some heavy beat downs and some nice black metal and death metal and hardcore. It's all there for you. So make your judgment and let us know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you like this content and you want to see more. We've got some cool things coming. So yeah, next time we'll
and by the
be.
time this airs,
Gonna say,
we'll be at Bloodstock.
yeah. And we're gonna try our real
chances
best
are,
to do a vlog this time.
I know, but you know what? We always either get too drunk and forget about it, or I'm not gonna shit on you, Brad. But our holiday vlogs, whenever we're saying something funny, we just get this sense of a camera in your face, and you're instantly like,
Yeah.
freeze up.
Well, I might let you be cameraman this time so I can see how it feels.
Oh no! You've got a vlog as well.
I'll do a little bit.
No, not a little bit. Because if we get separated, you've got you can't all be the Nathan show. This is me and you. You've got a vlog as well.
Fine. Okay. Well, if you're watching in the coming weeks, you might see a vlog up there. You might not. It very much depends on how things go.
If
But
you
we will
don't, it
intend to.
means we got far too drunk.
Yeah, which
I
is a
forgot.
possibility. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, follow us some more, and we'll see you next week. Hope to see some of you guys at Bloodstock, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, chances are you're not watching this because you're at Bloodstock right now and the signal's terrible.
Yeah,
But
that's
if you are watching this, we're at Camp Valhalla. Come meet.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, catch you guys in a bit.